All right, so we have Russell's 13, batch 5, batch 5. Why would I compare the two? Well, that's why. This is a close to a bottle kill, I would say, and this is a fresh neck pour. With all the oxidation and air going on that's in here, does it actually change the flavor of the whiskey? That is the big question everybody wants to know. What better bottles to be asking this question than over premium pours? It's kind of easy to do it for something that's much cheaper, but when you step up to something that's higher quality, it's way more complex, maybe there's going to be more nuances we can find and pick apart. So let's see. I'm pretty excited to see how this one goes, right? And this one's been sitting like this for a while. I'd say this one's been sitting like this for about a year and a half, maybe. So this cork is definitely dry. So while this one is getting nice and saturated, we'll go ahead and start with this one. We know that this cork is gonna do everything it's supposed to do. That's what we're looking for. All right. Then now, after not quite the sound we wanted, but hey, it didn't break, so we did good. It's a little bit more than a pour, but that's close enough. I'm not going to use that as an excuse to go crazy. Maybe my wife can get the rest of this. Either way. All right, so let's see what we have on the nose. Okay. All right. Very classic wild turkey. Oh. Okay, so I am noticing a small difference already. Okay, so on the neck pour, let me see. First, color. Let me see. Is there any difference in color? I don't perceive any real difference on the color. I think they look about the same. Maybe my eyes are playing tricks on me, but maybe the old bottle might be just ever so slightly a little bit more pale. And that might just because I know. No, when I hold it up to the light, it looks a little bit pale, just a little. All right, now on the nose, there is a small difference. Believe it or not, this one is a little softer on the nose in a good way. It's not as punchy. It kind of feels like the aromas kind of got like softened or rounded out a little bit. They're not as sharp. And so when you have, as far as this one, the neck pour, it definitely seems very, very, very rich. Like it's not extreme, but this is a small difference between them. It's not like you can tell, but it's not obvious. It's not obvious at all. If I blinded these, the only way I would know is that, believe it or not, the neck pour has a little bit more ethanol, has a little bit more kick to it on the nose. That's the only way I'd be able to pick these two apart. Other than that, there's not much difference. Now let's go on palate and see. Wow. Well, I think some people don't care for batch 5 that much, and I do think batch 5 was not as good as some of your early batches, but in this particular case, that's not what this comparison is really about. This comparison is more so about what are really the differences. Now with this, I do get kind of like some of that classic turkey notes where you get a little bit of like a small amount of cola. There's a good amount of fruit. It's like a darker fruit. Let me see what kind. Yeah. It's almost like a, maybe it's, so I'm gonna go back to the cola for a second. It's like a vanilla Coke. It's like a vanilla Coke and then hit with just a little bit of cherry, not a lot. So it's like a cherry vanilla Coke, but the cherry's way in the back. Vanilla's more in the front. Yeah. So that's kind of, those are the main notes. There's a small little bit of spice that's in there, like a peppery spice, just a little bit. Now, in terms of how it drinks, it doesn't coat the palate a lot. It is kind of thin. It's not viscous. It's not oily. It is a little thin. It's almost like water. It just kind of hits the palate and it's kind of gone in terms of how it coats the mouth. But in terms of the flavor, the initial palate is, I would say, not bright. It's not like, it doesn't punch you in the face with flavor. It definitely kind of slowly rolls. The flavor just kind of slowly rolls out on the initial. Then on the mid, it's kind of increases just a tinge, and then it just kind of rolls off very quickly in the finish. There's not much finish going on there. So I would say the first thing you get is a little bit of that vanilla. Then that vanilla starts to get a little sweeter with the cola. A little bit of oak is wrapped in there, and then it kind of starts to taper off with a little bit of cherry and oak. That's kind of what I'm getting on this one. All right. Now, the neck pour. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you what I think. I think that this is gonna do exactly the same thing, but I think it's just gonna be a little richer or a little brighter across the board. So let's see. Whoa. Okay. No, I was off. I was wrong. Completely. This is a completely different experience. This does not feel like I'm drinking the same thing at all. This, in fact, gives me, in terms of the notes, they're all the same notes. So yes, it's still the cola, it's still the cherry, it's still the vanilla, it's still that oak that's there. Those are all the same notes, but how it happens, when it happens, completely different. I'm gonna sip one more time before I get too deep in the woods. Oh, wow. Now that is refreshing. It coats the palate completely different. This is viscous. This does have oiliness that just kind of, it's like it's the difference between like syrup and water. This is more like a syrup texture. This is more like a watery texture in terms of how it coats the palate, and that oily, creamy texture is just much more pleasant, a lot more enjoyable. Now, what does it taste like? Like I said, the notes are the same. However, the experience that it provides is way more vibrant. Like, you get the oak from beginning to end, whereas the oak in this only kind of came out towards the end. I feel like the oak carries from the very beginning all the way till the end, which is good because it helps balance the whole palate out. It's not just some sweet drink. The oakiness kind of brings it's like listening to music with no bass. For bourbon, oak always is the bass. Listening to music with no bass just makes it sound tinny. It sounds very thin, and it just doesn't sound very pleasing. This has bass from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. This only has bass at the last part of the song. That's kind of my little analogy there. I do feel like there's almost like a small hint of citrus on this as like an added note. I'm gonna sip this one more time before I go back to the old bottle. Yeah, so now the cola is very, very forward. The oak is forward. The vanilla is more in the back. The cherry is more in the back. Neither one of those things play to the front like they did in this. And that's what I mean. This is almost like I'm drinking something entirely different. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a little time and I'm gonna come back to this. I don't want the two palettes to kind of cross-pollinate. So give me a second, I'm gonna sip a little water. All right, it's kind of quickly washing the palate. I wouldn't say cleansing the palate. Cleansing the palate is normally I'll use bread, I'll use crackers, something like that that will kind of soak up the oils from the bourbon off the palate. Water, as you know, doesn't really do a good job of getting rid of or expelling oil. It just kind of sits on the surface. So rinsing with water can help a little bit, but ultimately you need something to absorb it and pull it off. All right, enough of the infomercial. Now let's go to back to the empty bottle and let's see what we got. I feel like the nose has changed. Wait a minute. Oh wow, hang on. Yeah, so this one is more like a creme brulee vanilla now. And not to say the other flavors aren't there, but that is by and large what's in the front. That is what's clearly in my face right now. Strong amount of vanilla on the nose with this one. With the neck pour. Now with the old empty bottle. Yeah, way more cherry. It's just way more fruit flavor. It's almost like a peppery cherry. It's like a peppery cherry on the nose. Completely different. The oak is not there. The cola isn't really there on the nose. None of that. That all is kind of like melted away a little bit. It's there, but it's way in the back. It's way in the back. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go on the palate. Wow. I'm going to say this. The empty bottle is sweeter. I didn't pick that up going to the neck pour. This is significantly sweeter, which is interesting. Huh. So, yeah, all right, let me bounce right back over here real quick. Yeah, it almost makes this bitter in comparison. Almost. It is shocking to even know that there could be that much of a difference going on here. If you could combine these two, you would have much more of a complete expression. But between the two of them, it's crazy how much they are different. Now, you can roughly from the smell, roughly from the taste, you know they're the same. It's kind of like the difference between you ever had like apple juice, like regular apple juice, and then had like sugar-free apple juice. You know they're clearly both apple juice, but one's just missing something. That's kind of, you know that they're just different, right? And somebody could like the sugar-free, and that's fine. One might like the regular apple juice, and that's fine. That's kind of what I'm getting here. These are just different. And I think it'll come down to preference, which one you would like. If you like a more softer, rounded out, and in this case, a little bit more fruit forward, then you definitely want a little bit more air in your bottle. If you want more of a louder, punchier, more vibrant flavor, that's going to be more centered around the vanilla, more towards the oak, and less sweet, then yeah, the neck pour is the way to go. Wow. Who knew? Now, as always, we're going to add just a couple drops of water just to see how they respond. Is there any difference in how they hold up to a cube? While we're here, we might as well do it. I'll be right back. So we've got our handy dandy dripper. Let's go ahead and add a couple drops to the old bottle. Let's bring this down a little bit. I think this one got about 2 to 3, and this one got about 2 to 3 drops. So now, yeah. So curious to see what is the difference in how they respond. They both turn more of like a, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but there's almost like a minor pink hue that has kind of picked up now. So yeah, it's real slight, almost like a pink hue. On the nose, there's more of a, it's more like a clove, spiced cinnamon, not cinnamon. I'll leave it at clove, maybe nutmeg. It's more towards that direction on the nose now. Small amount of vanilla, but the cherry is all but gone away. It's almost turned into a gingerbread cookie at this point. And then this one, it's like it kind of did the same thing, but there's a lot of oak still present in this one. So there's more oak in this one, but it's still kind of that clove type of, yeah. It's almost like, yeah, it's almost like a freshly baked gingerbread cookie. And I don't know how else to explain it. It has that interesting little spice level to it, but still being almost like bready, kinda. All right, let's see on palate. That drink's kind of like Wild Turkey 12 does. It's like, I guess that's what really almost like Wild Turkey 12 almost is. It's just a watered down Russell's 13. Took any bit of kick that was there out of it, made it what you would call smooth, or just very welcoming to drink. The flavor didn't go away. Is there, just that dialed down just a little bit. It almost brought more of a viscous type of palate. I think overall, I wouldn't say it got better. I would just say it was still good. So held up nicely to a cube. What about the neck pour? Wow, this is way more syrupy on the nose. It's just got a denseness and a richness to it with the water in it. Wow. Personally, that is the best experience of the whole comparison. The neck pour with a little bit of water in it just took this and elevated it. It drinks like a classier product now. There is a good amount of like a oiliness or a viscous property to this that just really coats the mouth. The flavors roll out slower. They're not as punchier. It kind of like slowed all the notes down, and you get to enjoy them for longer. Very nice. Well, which one is the better one? I think that 100% goes down to just pure preference at this point. If you like a softer expression, let it air out. If you like it to be punchy and vibrant and more in your face, the neck pour. If you guys have tried this same experiment, let me know how did it go and what did you use? And what was your preference? If you don't believe that there's any difference between the two, I'm here to say that I see the contrary. What have you seen? All right, so if you found this fun, informative, please give it a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. We'll be making videos daily. We'll see you in the next one.